Have you ever heard about the Bash brothers, McGwire and Jose Canseco? Well, these two names once symbolized the glory and shame of baseball's steroid era. Of course, it all started in the 1980s, when these two giants, donning green and gold as Oakland A's teammates, burst onto the scene like a dynamic duo, much like Smith Wesson or Procter Gamble. They weren't just players, they were a phenomenon. The names Canseco and McGwire became synonymous with power, absolutely taking over the baseball world. Suddenly, biceps bulged, dumbbells became as essential as gloves, and the muscles were there for everyone to see. Indeed, the result was unprecedented home run records that wowed everyone. But then, what many people didn't know was that steroids had also slithered in to ruin the game's integrity. Sadly, we would later learn that a shameful use of steroids had been powering all the magic home runs and fanfare these two men had been known for all along. Now, here's where the twist comes in. It was Canseco himself who actually blew the lid off the shameful act he and McGwire had engaged in almost all their careers. But then, how did this happen? How did the Bash brothers move from absolute legends to the face of a shameful era in MLB history? Well, this is a story you definitely want to hear. So be sure to watch till the end of this video and do not miss a beat. Canseco's transformation into a baseball powerhouse reads like a superhero origin story. Drafted by the Oakland A's in the 15th round of the 1982 MLB draft, he was far from a household name. However, destiny had other plans. It wasn't until the late months of 1984 that something remarkable happened. Canseco discovered the magic of weightlifting. By the time 1985 rolled around, Canseco had catapulted from AA to AAA to the major leagues. And guess what? He was batting a solid .300 at every level. But that was just the warm-up. In a mere 29 games in Oakland, he boasted a .302 batting average, 5 home runs, and 13 runs batted in. So when you added it all up, it was a jaw-dropping 41 home runs and 140 RBIs across all levels in 1 year. On the other side of the diamond, we've got McGwire, who wasn't a stranger to crushing baseballs either. Playing college ball for the USC Trojans, he left his mark by smashing a school record with 32 home runs during his junior year. And the world couldn't help but begin to notice this power-packed player. His journey in the game would later take him to the 1984 Summer Olympics, where he represented the United States national team. And then, like a bolt of lightning, the Oakland A's snagged him in the first round of the 1984 draft. But then McGwire's real power surge came during his time in the minors. In just over 2 years, he crushed 48 home runs. This was definitely a sign of things to come. Finally, in August of 1986, McGwire entered the major leagues, initially as a third baseman. Now, the stage was set for these two budding baseball titans to make history and become siblings without sharing an ancestry. Canseco first burst onto the scene, grabbing the AL Rookie of the Year title in 1986 with 33 majestic home runs. The next season, McGwire followed suit, smashing a rookie record with a jaw-dropping 49 homers as he switched to first base. The pair was unstoppable. Between them, they launched over 200 home runs while wearing the green and gold of the Oakland A's. And they didn't stop at just home runs. They carried their team to 3 consecutive AL pennants from 1988 to 1990, even clinching the coveted World Series title in 1989. In '88, Canseco left everyone in awe, taking home the AL Most Valuable Player award. His bat was like lightning, batting .307 and leading the majors with a stunning 42 home runs and 124 RBIs. But he didn't stop there. With those bulging biceps and his power on full display, Canseco added an astounding 40 stolen bases to his home run tally. It was a feat that had never been seen before, the first major league player to hit the 40-40 club. And let's not forget the Monster Bash, which was their iconic post-homer celebration. That closed fist X at home plate was their trademark, imitated by players at all levels to the extent it graced the 1988 Summer Olympics in South Korea. The A's marketing team would also join the fun with some Let's Bash t-shirts and banners, and they even whipped up a catchy music video inspired by Monster Mash. No doubt the Bash brothers had officially taken over Oakland. Even the Costakos brothers, who are legendary poster creators, saw the magic too, and they bought into the hype. They transformed Canseco and McGwire into some larger-than-life characters reminiscent of the Blues Brothers. With black suits, fedora hats, and massive 5-foot baseball bats in hand, the star players posed in front of an Oakland police patrol car for a poster shot that would rock the world even harder. Of course, the poster was an instant hit, selling 50,000 copies in the Bay Area in less than 3 weeks. Obviously, the Bash brothers weren't just baseball players, they were a sensation. Fans from every corner of America flocked to see their incredible power displays. Plus, McGwire etched his name in history by becoming the first player to hit 30 home runs in his first 4 seasons, 1987 to 1990, while Canseco, a home run king in his own right, led the majors with 44 homers in 1991. Sadly though, like all great stories, this one had its twists. In 1992, Canseco was traded to the Texas Rangers, marking the end of an era in Oakland. Despite his legendary status, the A's sought to bolster their pitching, and Canseco was to go off to new horizons. Of course, it was a bold decision, but the Oakland A's felt it was time to change the game. Fast forward to 1997, and Canseco was back in the Bay Area, rejoining forces with McGwire. Ticket sales soared as fans anticipated the resurrection of their iconic partnership. Plus, fresh off a 52-homer season, McGwire was a force to be reckoned with, but then it wasn't all smooth sailing. To the fans' dismay, McGwire's contract was up, and he would soon find himself donning the Cardinals' colors. Canseco's season, on the other hand, was more ordinary than everyone expected. And so, the Bash brothers chapter in Oakland ended. However, it was all worth the hype while it lasted. After all, they left a trail of crumbled baseballs and awe-inspired fans in their wake, combining for a staggering 617 home runs during their time with the A's. Okay, let's pause here for a bit. We've established that the Bash brothers had all the success you can imagine, right? Well, here's one shocker for you. There was a strain in their reputation that started in 1988. Yep, around the time they were at their best. So here's how it all went down. In 1988, the whispers about steroids in baseball began to grow louder. And Thomas Boswell, a sports columnist for the Washington Post, didn't hold back when he appeared on CBS News Night Watch. He boldly declared Canseco, who was on the fast track to an MVP award, as the most conspicuous example of a player who has made himself great with steroids. However, these allegations never made it to print. The Washington Post had a strict policy requiring absolute certainty before publishing such claims. So George Solomon, the sports editor at the time, clarified that Boswell's statement on CBS was purely his opinion. Well, in October of the same year, during the 1988 American League Championship Series against the Boston Red Sox, Canseco faced loud chants of "Steroids, steroids" from the Fenway Park crowd, who were bringing up the same accusation on him again. However, he vehemently denied the accusations, maintaining that he didn't use steroids. By the way, it is worth noting that, at the time, steroids weren't classified as controlled substances under federal law. Now, fast forward to 1998, when Mark McGwire embarked on his historic home run chase. During this time, Steve Wilstein of the Associated Press spotted a bottle of androstenedione in McGwire's locker. Of course, this over-the-counter bodybuilding substance was a type of anabolic steroid banned in many other sports but still permissible in baseball. Well, McGwire eventually confirmed its use, claiming that many people in baseball were using similar substances. However, as he set the home run record, he decided to stop using andro in his bid to set a better example for younger fans, but there was still trouble ahead. Canseco dropped a bombshell in 2005 when he admitted to using steroids in his tell-it-all book titled Juiced: Wild Times, Rampant Roids, Smash Hits, and How Baseball Got Big. The book revealed his steroid use and alleged that he and McGwire had injected steroids together during their time with the Oakland A's. Oh, and McGwire definitely considered this as snitching. Of course, he initially denied these accusations but remained silent during a congressional hearing on the matter the following month. Sadly, his career took a massive hit and things went awry from there. Eventually, in 2010, he admitted to using steroids as well, confirming the suspicions and allegations from fans all along. Years later, Canseco would express regret for writing the book and even apologize to McGwire in 2014. But then, the damage had already been done.